Hello, GetFPV Learn community. I'm Derek, and I'm going to be your host as we take a look at Betaflight. In these videos, I'm going to break down Betaflight into small, manageable pieces, so hopefully you're going to do good at your setup. In today's video, we're going to discuss, download, and install Betaflight drivers. So, what is a driver? The easiest way I can explain it is a driver is a piece of software that is going to tell your computer how to talk to a piece of hardware. What do I mean by that? Well, everything we connect to our computer needs a driver. Doesn't matter what it is. If you connect your mouse is going to use a driver so your computer can understand the input that the mouse is giving to the computer itself. Obviously, we don't think about this. We plug the mouse in, the computer installs the driver automatically, and we go about our business. Well, what happens when we have a device that doesn't necessarily install that driver automatically? That's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to have to download that driver and install it manually. So without further ado, what do you say we jump on over to the computer, we take a look at a couple of things inside of Betaflight, and then we get those drivers downloaded. When we open our Betaflight configurator, we're going to be presented with this welcome screen. And there is actually some good resources and information here on the welcome screen. But for today, the area we're worried about is right around here, kind of towards the bottom left to start. Now, we have time, check out the rest of this stuff, but for today, this is what we're worried about. There's a couple of links over here. One of these links is for the CP210X drivers. The next is for the STM USB VCP driver. And then we have the third one down here, which is for ZDiag. This is a little bit more of an advanced tool. We're not going to be using this. I have an easier solution instead of using the ZDiag, but we're going to do this in a further video. So for today, we're only worried about the two main driver packages to be able to connect our flight controller. We'll be flashing firmware later on. Inside the configurator, we can click on the link, and the idea is it opens this window up, and it's going to get us to the driver download page. This doesn't work well. This is problematic. I think the best course of action is to skip this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to provide links in the description. The first link is going to be to the Betaflight GitHub page that has all the driver installation information on it, and it's also going to have the links to the actual driver packages. And I'm also going to have independent links to the individual driver packages themselves. So instead of using this method, going through the configurator, make sure you check out the links below. You're going to have the resources you need down there. So again, anyway, this is broken. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to close this window. So you're asking me, how do you find the links? How do you get the drivers if this setup isn't working correctly? Well, I'm going to cruise on over to the Google Chrome and just simply do a search for Betaflight drivers. That's probably the easiest thing I could recommend. After you do that search, you're going to have all kinds of results. Well, of course you are. Hey, look at this. I recognize this video. But anyway, as we scroll down, we're going to have this link here, installing Betaflight, and we'll see that it's for the Betaflight GitHub page. Again, this link is going to be in the description. You don't need to do the Google search. I'm just showing you how to find this if you need to. So we click on that link, and we end up over here. This is, again, the Betaflight GitHub page on installing the firmware on your flight controller and drivers and all that good stuff. Read through this. This could be helpful. But anyway, on here we have the links for our driver packages. Here's our first one here. This is for the CP210X driver. And as we scroll down, here's ZDiag. We're not worried about this. But as we continue again, we're going to find the one for the ST Microsystem Virtual COM port. That's that VCP over USB driver, and that's the link for it here. So I've saved these links. They're in the description. Just click on the link. You'll get to the page. Here's our first driver right here, CP210X. We're going to download this. Of course, you always need to click on accept and all this good stuff. And because I'm on Windows 10, and I know I'm on Windows 10, here's my driver package right here. This is the one I want to download. But if you scroll a little bit further, you'll see there are versions for other window installs and also other operating systems, Macintosh, Linux. We're going to click right here to download the Windows 10 Universal. After clicking on that link, it's just going to download. Since I'm using Chrome by default, it should go into my downloads folder. I'm not so worried about that right now because I know we're headed. Anyway, that's fine. Let's move on to the next one. This driver is a little bit more difficult to download. We do have to register on this page. Not a big deal. We just give them an email address and they email us a link in order to be able to perform the download. We're going to accept the cookies. Wait for the page to load. Now that the page is loaded, we can click Get Software here. It'll just shoot us to the bottom, or we can scroll through and read this. Anytime you're working with something that you're unfamiliar with, take a look and just read the information that's in there. But anyway, this is the link we're after here on the bottom of the page, this Get Software. I'm going to click on that. We have to accept again. And now we are going to get brought over to the login register screen. So here we do have to put in a little bit of basic information. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in. My information is complete. Make sure you put in a valid email address. You are going to have to do this. Click on the I understand terms and conditions and I'm going to sell my soul. And that's about it. We're going to click on download. And we've registered. Now we're going to get emailed a link so we can actually download the software. I've completed the registration for the ST Microelectronics software download. Here's my email. Inside of the email, we're going to have a link to download the software. And that's it. Now we wait for the software to download. Both packages are done. I'm going to shoot over to my downloads folder and extract them. So see here, I'm in downloads. This is where the files were saved. I'm going to go to the two archives that I just downloaded that contain the drivers. I'm going to right click on the first one and I'm going to say extract all. This is going to open the extract compressed zip folders wizard and we're just going to follow the instructions here. If you leave this checkbox selected, show extracted files when complete, it's going to make things a little bit easier when we move forward to the install. I'm just going to say extract and let the software do the work. See, I said have that checkbox selected, makes life easy. We have two executable software installers here. One's a 64-bit, one's an x86. x86 is for older systems, where x64 is for more modern platforms. If your computer is only a few years old, this is the one you're going to be using, the x64. I'm just simply going to double click on this and launch the installer. You might get a couple of warnings. We're going to click yes to continue. And now we have the installation wizard. I'm going to click next and let the installation begin. And that's it. I'm going to click finish and we're done. Let's close this window and do the next one. Again, right click, extract all. Make sure our checkbox is selected. Say extract. Let the software do the work. When the folder is extracted, again, we're going to be presented with several different executable files. In this case, we're going to have x86 and x64 installations again. You need to know what your platform is. If you're on a newer computer, you're probably going to be using the x64. In this case, even though I'm on Windows 10, I'm just going to select this installer for Windows 8. It seems like it's the newest one to me, so I'm just simply going to go for it. When you're installing driver software like this, if you pick the wrong package, your hardware just simply isn't going to work, and you may need to install additional drivers. So in this case, I'm going to give it a shot. I know it's going to work from experience, but again, I'm just going to go ahead and install it. So I'm going to double click and launch the installation. Click yes to continue, and away we go. I have installed this package once before, so in order to move forward, I'm just going to click repair, but in your case, you're going to do it as if it's a new installation. You may get an additional window that pops up to install the drivers themselves into the computer. Just go ahead and click next, and when you're done, click finish here. Let the main installation complete, click finish, and you're done. That's pretty much it. We've managed to download and install both of the main driver packages, so when we plug our flight controller into the computer, hopefully the computer is going to recognize that, and we can actually work with Betaflight. One last step that I always recommend after installing driver packages, even if the computer doesn't ask you to do so, you should always restart. Completely shut down the computer, let it boot back up, even give it a minute or two before you try using it again. That's always a good step. That's really it though. This wasn't too hard. Make sure you check out the description for those links that I told you I'm going to have down there. You're probably going to need them. That's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. Good luck with your installation, and I'll catch you in the next one.